close my eyes to see you again. Provider, I can't live with you in me. You are my provider, my Adonai, my everything I need. Your every word I speak, beyond every fear and doubt, I believe is done. After it's said and done, oh, you are my provider, my idol, my everything I need. Greetings, greetings, greetings. It's so good to be with you again, making a pledge and finding your joy. You are my provider, my everything that I need. How's your week been? I've been just moving and traveling. Today is my granddaughter's birthday. She's 24 today. It seems like she was just born, and 24 years have gone by. You are amazing. You are amazing. Take a breath with me and we make a pledge to find our joy. I've had such wonderful feedback on how very few people have ever been asked, what is it that you would like? What would you like for me to do for you? What would you like to give to someone else? People assume that they know what you want when it would be easier, if not a familiar thing, to ask someone, what is it that you would like? And then take a breath and listen and then wait for them to answer. Maybe they would say, I don't know. Maybe they would say, whatever you would like. Maybe they would say, I don't need anything. I don't want anything. Just be with me. So take a deep breath. You are making a pledge, considering making a pledge and finding your joy, but you don't know what it is that brings you joy. We've been talking about the things and the activities and the feelings and the emotions that come up when a woman says, I would like to nurse my baby, my little one. I would like to keep them with me. Maybe it's not something that she says out loud, but this notion about a mother and a baby being connected and being a couple, inseparable, is something that we don't think about very much. When you see a picture of a baby and they take a picture and it's not connected to anyone, just kind of floating in space. And then you see a picture of a mom and you hear about her baby, but maybe her baby is not with her. I would like for you this week to begin to visualize a mother and a baby together. Look around, see if you have any photographs, any pictures, any drawings of your mother holding you. Look at the baby pictures. Look around you. Can you find a single one? We often think about the ways in which we can provide for separation but we don't think about the ways in which we can provide support for being together. If you've never seen something, but you have a vision of what something might like that you haven't experienced as yet, let's take our first step together. Take a breath with me, hold my hand. Slip into a moment when you think about being in an intimate space of someone who is entirely dependent on you. In many cultures, this is not something that we've seen. This is not something that we've talked about. But for you, as you're deciding, or perhaps you decided to make this pledge to be with your little one and to nurse your little one for 365 days, for a full season, a full cycle, I'd like for you to think about this today. The mother baby couple. The mother baby couple that are interdependent, intertwined with each other, dependent on each other for life and breath and food and nurturing and play. And that you would welcome this, not because it was easy or because you couldn't quite figure it out. It's because something that you wanted to do, that you would find joy in it. Take a deep breath. Did you find that picture? Can you find any picture of you and your mom together? Did you find any pictures around the house? We have a way of taking lots of photographs, lots of movies, lots of Instagrams, TikToks, and this little baby, this little one, is floating in space. It's not with an adult. It's not attached to anyone. Maybe their mom's on their phone, but begin to think about that. Think about that image of the mother and child, the Madonna. Is it holy? Is it sacred to you? Or you just never thought about it before? And maybe we're so exhausted and so tired and never get a break that the idea of spending time with this little one that's attached to you, that needs you, feels just so overwhelming. For some of us, intimacy is not a good thing. Closeness is not a good thing. We didn't always have a good fantasy relationship with our moms. And whatever relationship we did have, we haven't thought about it, but trust and believe. Trust and believe. If you decide you want to be with your baby for 365 days, everything that you've never thought about will come up, and you'll begin to think about that time that was forged with your mom, that time that was forged with the person who took care of you. Maybe you didn't have anyone to care for you. Maybe they were sick. Maybe they were away. Maybe they were at work. Maybe you don't understand what happened. But now, as of this moment, as of today, you wish to decide to try something that maybe you've never seen before. Take a deep breath. A mother baby couple, interdependent, intertwining, and conceptually, you see that and you feel that nothing that happens to your little one is separate from something that happens to you. Sometimes I remember things with such certainty. I said, yes, that absolutely happened. This is the way that it happened. And I had an experience this week where I was telling someone about a celebration and an anniversary that took place. And I was absolutely sure it was on a particular day. I knew that it happened on July 16th. And then I started to look at some documentation, some pictures. I asked some other people, and they said, no, it didn't happen that day. And I insisted that it happened exactly the way that said it did on the day that I said it was. And then I had to come to a realization that my memory of something was not complete. And I had to adjust my thinking. Something that I thought was very important that had occurred on a particular date. I celebrated it that day. I made mention of it. It was an important ritual, but it actually occurred on a different date. And so, again, that mother baby couple, it's not magical or mystical, but how you remember it and how it happens for you today is something that we'll get a chance to talk about. Some of you may want to talk with me directly. Some of you may want to talk with a friend. Some of you, I hope some of you, will go back, if you can, and talk with your mother about that time. And if you're not ready to talk with her, ask her, listen to what it was like, how she felt. Did she feel overwhelmed? Did she feel like she wasn't a good mom? Did she feel like she was exhausted? Did she feel like when she asked for help, everyone encouraged her or told her that she was doing a good job, or they made her feel like she wasn't doing a good job? Have that conversation in your mind's eye. And then, if your mom is still alive, schedule some time to talk with her, because her memory about what happened and your memory or your visualization of what you were told about that time, that first year, that first period of time may be different. There may be different explanations and stories about what happened to you, what happened with you, how it felt for you. That may be different. Mother baby couple. Mother baby couple. I have a cat that I don't own. He's not my cat. She's not my cat, but she decided, and we learned it was a she because we decided to feed the cat. And the cat had 3 kittens. She had triplets. And we named the cat Althea. And Althea was an amazing mom, but she often kept the kittens hidden. And she told them, or she showed them where to hide and to be quiet. And when she would return, she would allow them to come out. One day we didn't see the kittens for a long while, and I said to her, I said, "Where are you, kittens?" And within a day or so, she brought the kittens to where they could be seen, but she was very determined to keep them in a space that was hidden. I want you to begin to think about why you might hide your sense of closeness, your need to depend, your connection with your little one as a way to protect, but also as a way that determines your identity, to establish yourself as someone, this important person that's in charge, responsible for someone else, and to feel it with some trepidation, to feel it with some excitement, but to feel it because that's what you want. And you learn that maybe you don't have the freedom or you don't have the support or that others do not visualize it the way that you do. And I'm sharing this story with you about Althea and the kittens is that over cycles and seasons, you can see how her relationship changed with her little ones. With her three little ones, there was a time where one of the kittens disappeared. I don't know what happened, but the remaining two are growing and learning, and she is teaching them about the world, and she is sharing that with other animals and other humans that are around her based on the response that she gets when she takes a moment to show them her little ones. Sometimes you will be around people who make you feel so powerful, and that in spite of whatever doubts you may have, they will encourage you. And then you can be around some other people who mean no harm. They really don't mean any harm. But after spending some time with them, you feel less than, not good enough, not worthy, not capable. So I am asking you this week, this week as we celebrate each other, we build and we create our tribe, that we begin to think about relationship and that mother baby couple and what we've seen and what we'd like to recreate. My granddaughter, who is 24 today, was an extraordinary little one. I got to be there. I got to be at her birth. I got to see my daughter. I got to be with some other midwives who I love and I care for. But most importantly, there is something very special about a mother who has a daughter. It may be different than how it feels and what it looks like when a mother has a son. And that time, how you remember it, how your mom remembers it, will have an impact on you. Take a deep breath. With every breath I take, you are my provider. I long to be with you. I long to take time with you. I long to hear what is important to you, what makes you happy, what brings you joy. Take care, and I will see you next week. Bye bye.